The SFL quarterfinals roll on here on Saturday evening. Live from Canada Field, north of the border in Vancouver. It's the Vancouver Legion, the number 3 seed, against the Denver Nightwings, the number 8 seed. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company here on SFL quarterfinals night. Mike O'Neill joins me from the broadcast booth. Mike, we're going to have a lot of work to do to try and catch up to the excellent standard that was set in the first game of the doubleheader. But between the Vancouver Legion offense and the Denver Nightwings defense, we should be in for a good one tonight.
Absolutely, Michael. It's great to be back in the booth with you, my friend. SFL Nation, we have got some quarterfinal football ahead. Let's talk about these two teams. Denver coming in as a top 5 rushing team. We know the halfback tandem they have in the backfield and what those guys can do. With Vancouver on the other side, they have the best rushing defense in the SFL. Now let's flip the script a little bit, Trillo. Vancouver comes in here, number 1 total yards, number 1 passing yards on offense. Denver, number 1 in passing yards allowed and total yards allowed. We've got a good one in front of us.
It's white and blue against white and blue. The Legion will have the ball first, and they'll have it just past the 25 to start. Let's take a look at that Vancouver offense. Christian Brown under center, 6th season with Vancouver. Ike McBride at running back, and the 2 fullbacks, Sudo Nakai and Mateo Pravado. Wide receivers Nick Lockett, Ezekiel Bear, Lili Nakai, and the Hall of Famer Brett Killian. Tight ends Sharona Pravado and John Michael Sudduth. On the offensive line, Gregory Winnell, Leo Chang, Riley Gaudill, Mango Moody, and Grunter Gray Jam. First play from scrimmage. Let's see if Vancouver airs it out. They're gonna, because there's nobody in the backfield alongside Christian Brown. 2-by-2, the receivers after the motion to the far side by Lili Nakai. Brown back to throw, and he's going to get roughed up immediately by Chuck Diesel for a 3-yard loss.
Unbelievable job there. Chuck Diesel just coming in, I believe it was the A-gap, just right through the middle. Just really, really good blitz there from Denver to start off hot and really put Vancouver in a long situation.
2nd and long. That was only a 4-man rush, too. Offensive line, Vancouver going to have to hold up. Here comes the blitz. Brown escapes the pocket down the field and picks up a first down to his favorite target, Brett Killian.
Yeah, Brett Killian, Hall of Famer here. He's had an excellent season. He's working against Ted Haynes right there, number 37. Man coverage. Ted Haynes has got great leverage here and great positioning, but you can't let a big player like Brett Killian box you out like that.
First and 10 for Vancouver now. Brown facing pressure. Pump fakes to get the defense off him and squeezes it through to Nick Lockett for another first down. Impressive defense control of the pocket.
Yeah, impressive defense, absolutely. But how about the drop in the bucket? Look here, Ted Haynes underneath. Look at the velocity put on that ball just to put just enough air under that by Christian Brown. That is a veteran throw, Trillo.
Vancouver now on the right side of the 50. First handoff of the game goes to Pravado, and it's a loss of 2 yards. Here's the defense for the Denver Nightwings. Gerald Cumbas, Hugo Reynosa, Logan Gardner, and Joseph Zabolka on the defensive line. Excuse me. Jimmy Burgett, Luis Quintana, and John Martin, the linebackers. Luke Schreier, Ted Haynes, Parker Thomas, Lucas DeVore, and Tank Bennett in the secondary. And the defensive front has already got Christian Brown on the ground for the 2nd time in the ball game. Linebacker blitz John Martin.
This is one of the big things that everybody was talking about coming into this game. Denver's front 7 against Vancouver's passing offense. So far, we've already seen 2 sacks here, Michael. Unbelievable job by John Martin, just going around the outside, kicking out around the tackle, and really getting to the quarterback really quickly.
Now 3rd and long. Brown going deep, double covered, and knocked away from Nick Lockett by Tank Bennett, the strong safety. And that's going to be the task for the safeties for Denver this afternoon, right? It's going to be tough with those deep passes that Vancouver likes to run.
Absolutely, and it's something that Vancouver's going to have to adjust to. They're really going to have to figure it out, because so far it seems like Denver's defense is keyed in on this Vancouver offense. You saw right there on this last play, you had Chuck Diesel playing underneath, and you had Tank Bennett over the top. Just a really good play defensively by Denver and a great stand.
Vancouver comes up empty on their first drive. What do you think about the blitz strategy for the Night Wings early on? They really brought the heat on the Vancouver offensive line.
Absolutely, and I love the idea. I love the willingness to go aggressive, because it's not just about getting home and getting sacks, Trillo. It's also about forcing errant throws.
Denver on the ball, 1st and 10, Trellis Blanton at quarterback. First season with Denver after coming over from Queen City. He's got Dwayne Salmons behind him. That's Bailey O'Shaughnessy, the barber, picking his way for an 8-yard gain. You talked about the two-headed monster in the backfield for Denver on the year. Salmons, 180 yards. O'Shaughnessy, 210 yards. They combined for 13 touchdowns on the ground as well.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it starts up front, too, with the blocking. Look at 44, R.E. Mills on that last play. Keep an eye on 44, because he really opens a lot of lanes for these guys.
Those stats were carries, not yards, by the way. That was Dwayne Salmons getting a first down. Salmons, 780 yards on the season. Bailey O'Shaughnessy, 822.
Unbelievable. Just a two-headed monster if you've ever seen one. This Denver team, right, they have one identity, one way of winning, and they're still in the quarterfinals. Teams have tried to stop it, but they continue to roll.
Denver averaging a ridiculous 137 yards on the ground, but when they go to pass, that's when the defense can pounce. Look out, Bobo Caudell is rampaging in the backfield.
Yeah, unbelievable job. Really, really good play by the defense of Vancouver. You got number 55 coming in there. That's Marquise Reed coming off the outside linebacker spot, getting to the backfield, and the tackles just couldn't keep up with the speed around the outside, and this is danger territory for Denver, because you don't want to be behind the sticks whenever you're a dominantly rushing offense. It's just really tough to see. Interested to see what Denver does on this long situation.
Denver down at the bottom of the league in passing yards per game at 177 per. That one almost went back the other way. Drew Hamilton with the tip, 3rd and 16.
Yeah, Drew Hamilton has been so good for so long in this Vancouver Legion uniform here, and really, really good play there. Nearly jumping it. I bet he wishes he had that one back, though.
9th season for the Legion for Drew Hamilton, 3rd and 16. This is not where the Night Wings want to be. Time in the pocket after the rollout, and it's picked off into traffic over the middle. All the way back to the 35 comes Emmanuel Blackman, and the first big punch of the game goes the way of Vancouver.
Unbelievable job. Emmanuel Blackman, one of the best premier corners in this league. You see him with a hand on a hip right there with, I believe, Dylan Lewis, and he's just trailing him in trail technique and just tracks the quarterback's eyes, which is not easy to do on a play-action rollout, but nonetheless he does and comes up with an interception there. Vancouver getting a great takeaway in a key moment there early on here.
Now the best passing attack in the league goes back to work in plus territory at the 35. 2 by 1, right to left go the receivers. Nobody in the backfield. Max protect, but it doesn't matter because it's another sack for John Martin, his 2nd of the game already, 6-yard loss.
And I got a feeling, Trillo, we're going to see a lot of this. Watch the tackle kick out. You see the tackle kick out and pick up the defensive line. That's essentially just if you want to call it a bait and switch, you can. The tackle goes outside wide. The outside linebacker trails behind and takes interior. And the tackle, it's often you see the tackle kick out. They're just trying to confuse the offensive line of Vancouver here.
Now 2nd and 16, but if there's any team you trust to get out of a situation like this, it is Vancouver. In motion, it's the tight end, John Michael Suddeth. They bring the pressure again, and making him pay that time is Killian. He is the best in the SFL, maybe one of the best in SFL history at climbing the ladder over the middle and making those catches.
And not only that, he's also one of the best in man coverage in the SFL. The big frame, I mean, you're talking about a big receiver there. You put him one-on-one, and essentially at one point you're going to pay.
From 2nd and 16 to a manageable 3rd and 2. They'll put Ike McBride and Sudo Nakai back there. They'll hand the ball off to Sudo. Oh, correction, that's Ike McBride faking it out with the halfback lining up in the fullback spot and picking up a first down.
You got to love the trickery, the little wrinkles that we're going to see in the coaching here in the quarterfinals. I mean, this is where everything gets locked in, and so far right now it seems like Vancouver on offense is doing that.
Delayed handoff, big space to run for Mateo Pravado as he picks up another move of the chains. Pravado, the season 24 All-Star at fullback.
Yeah, and Tank Bennett coming in late to pick that up. I mean, he's having to, this is what happens. You have an offense that throws the ball so much. These safeties have to respect that, and they have to stay back, and then it opens up lanes like that for Mateo Pravado. It's a great run.
Inside the red zone now, the 13-yard line. Brown, pressure from the backside. He gets the pass away. It's tipped in. Incomplete. Tank Bennett with the big deflection right on the goal line.
Yeah, and I just talked about Tank Bennett, just put him down a little bit on his positioning in the run game, but how about making it up there in the pass game? Great job. Christian Brown had a little bit of pressure around the left side, got it out quickly, so that was a good decision on him, but that could have gone the other way easily.
That pressure was Martin again. He is the lone middle linebacker in this set. Let's see if he charges forward into the backfield again. He'll stay home and make the tackle on Mateo Pravado after only a 3-yard gain. And that is how you can attack a team that is blitzing that middle linebacker over and over again, just try and run through it.
Absolutely. Right now, Vancouver is dialing up the perfect counter to what Denver's trying to offer, and that's exactly why they're on the 10-yard line.
3rd and 7 can get a first down inside the 3. Brown possibly looking for the end zone here. Does look that way, and Lili Nakai says, give me 6 points. Touchdown, Vancouver. They turn the interception into an early lead.
Working from the outside, Lili Nakai working on number 29 there. I believe that's Luke Schreiner, which is a great corner. Lili Nakai gets inside leverage there, and Christian Brown knows exactly where she's going to be and delivers a dart right there. Great throw.
I was not expecting the amount of pressure that Christian Brown has been under pretty much every snap. But the veteran staying in the pocket, making the throws when he needs to, and gives Vancouver an early lead.
Well, let's call it what it is, Trillo. I mean, this is the #1 passing offense in the league against the #1 passing defense in the league. And so far, Vancouver has taken advantage of it. Denver comes into this game just looking at this matchup and saying, how can we slow down their passing just enough to where we can run our style of football at our pace? And I think that the clear-cut answer is just sending pressure in the way that they have. It hasn't worked yet, but that's not to say that it can't.
Keel bouncing off of tacklers all the way to the 36-yard line. I mean, if you look at the stats, Mike, you look at 3rd in the league in sacks for Denver, 2nd in the leagues in tackles for loss. They have been aggressive all season long. This is not a surprise that they're dialing up this kind of pressure on the defensive end.
No, absolutely not. I think the surprise more so is the fact that it's really, they've hit home quite often against Vancouver early on here. And I think that's the big thing that Vancouver, it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to it. Denver, they can't afford to send 6 or 7, you know what I mean, on these blitzes and leave people like Brett Killian on an island outside.
Denver on their 2nd possession offensively. First time they threw an interception because they got behind the chains. If you're just joining us, Denver is primarily a rushing team behind Dwayne Sammons and Bailey O'Shaughnessy. They'll hand the ball off to O'Shaughnessy, and that time Marquise Reed is ready for it. No gain.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see, right? Marquise Reed just coming down and really playing downhill there from the outside linebacker position, getting into the backfield early, and you see him in the same spot right there, just outside of the defensive end.
Blanton gonna throw, at least he tried to. Marquise Reed has been a bulldozer early on in this game. 3rd and 13 already.
Yeah, and we're seeing the same thing, the same looks on this front as we did with Denver. Outside linebacker lined up just outside of the defensive end. Too much speed and too agile to cut around that corner. The tackle can't pick him up. The tackle's working against the defensive end. They're overloading the left side of that line, and it's working.
Just a four-man rush on 3rd and 13. Blanton on a streak. Oh, what a catch. Dylan Lewis. He took a hit right to the sternum and held on to the football.
Unbelievable catch. Look at Dylan Lewis working there against Emmanuel Blackman. And wow, just unbelievable climbing the ladder. You see Dylan Lewis, 6'3", 205. I mean, he's got the size and stature to be able to do that, but it's hard to do that against a corner like Blackman. Big
hit by Drew Hamilton there on the back end, but it does give Denver a move of the chains into Vancouver territory. Nice pickup of a block on the back end, but that time the pass is a little bit too far in front of Logan Keel.
You took the words out of my mouth, partner. You saw the block pickup, right? It's unfortunate that pass couldn't be hung on to, because that pass block was amazing in the backfield there for Denver.
Listen, the two of us have watched way too much SFL football over the years, so we can pretty much read each other's mind at this point. Blitz picked up.
Good
out
screen.
To the outside. O'Shaughnessy picks up 5 yards, sets up 3rd and manageable.
And that's what you love to see. Denver, great little wrinkle there in the play calling. If you can't, if Vancouver's loading the box, right, they're getting pressure, they're keeping 6 or 7 in the box at all times, and if you're having a tough time running up front, throw a little screen out to the side, a little swing pass to your running back and get them in space.
3rd and 5, four-man rush. Blanton stands in. Oh, a diving catch. Jay Viper extends the drive for the Nightwings full stretch.
I'm almost left speechless. It's a shame we're not going to get a replay at that, because the low point of the ball on Trellis Blanton, to be able to low point that ball just right at the ground where only his receiver can catch, is unbelievable.
We'll go back to the ground game. O'Shaughnessy breaks a tackle, can't break the second. It's Marquise Reed again. What a game. What a first quarter.
Unbelievable.
Him.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend across the board with number 55. So we've seen John Martin on the other side with 55 playing a heck of a ball game as well in the first quarter. It's crazy right now, but these outside linebackers are balling.
2nd and 9. Here's Salmons. Once again, not much room to run. 3rd and 4. We were reminiscing before the game about some old St. Louis Gladiators teams from back in the day, and Marquise Reed, a part of some of those old teams in St. Louis. Pre-snap adjustments from Vancouver. 3rd and 4, 30-yard line. Into field goal range for Denver. Wouldn't be an easy one from here. Full send on the blitz.
Wow.
And that means wide open to walk into the end zone is Jeremy Mosley. There is a flag on the play.
That's going to be roughing the passer. That's roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Denver ties the game. What a call by Vancouver to send the house.
I want to point something out here. Watch the replay. They kick, they motion R.E. Mills out. We're not going to get a replay. That stinks. They motion R.E. Mills out to the left side, and he acted as a pass blocker to pick up the blitzing outside linebacker, which I believe was Marquise Reed, who we know has hit home a couple times, at least had the pressure there. They motioned R.E. Mills out there to pick him up right off the line. That created just enough time for Trellis Blanton to hit that receiver.
I don't think I've ever seen an all blitz that far away from the goal line. That was
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was wild is what that was.
Continuing the St. Louis connections, Christian Brown reminds us in the chat that he was drafted by the St. Louis Gladiators 9 seasons ago.
It's crazy. We've seen so far. This is all right. We're in it, folks.
This is going to be a good one. 45 seconds to go first quarter. Tied at 7. Christian Brown goes back to work. It's another blitz. Picked up. Killian was open, but it was just a little bit underthrown. Ted Haynes able to get in front of it.
And that's such a tough ask, Trillo. Ted Haynes, one-on-one on an island. There's nobody within 15 yards of him and Brett Killian. You've got to trust your guy if you're going to put them out on an island with a receiver like Killian. It's really, really good for defense to be able to hold up like that on Denver's end.
The throw was a little bit behind BK as well. And that's what allowed Haynes to get there. 4 wide now on 2nd and 10. Brown under pressure, throws, fumble, interception. What is happening on this play? Ends up in the hands of Chuck Diesel. Did that ball hit the ground? I'm not sure it did.
Unbelievable, Trillo. We're going to get a second look at this. How about the hit directly? Oh my gosh, really good catch by Chuck Diesel to have the knowledge and just awareness to dive for that ball. The coverage was sound, but I got to tell you, I mean, that was bang, bang. That could have gone either way, but it never hit the ground, so it is technically ruled an interception. That's got to be your nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid in your hands and play the only game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. So after an interception early, Vancouver capitalizes. Then Denver comes back, scores a touchdown, and gets a quick interception. This and I want to make
nuts.
It is, absolutely, but I want to make a quick point. The reason he didn't see a challenge is because that ball never hit the ground, just so if people are confused about why there wasn't a challenge, that ball never hit the ground, so it would still technically be ruled an interception.
I like what Vancouver's doing here up the middle against this rushing attack. Expound a little bit more on how they've been able to do so as we hit the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I think that it just comes down to the dialing up. The plays that they're dialing up has just been sound, so sound, and they're really. I don't know how to explain it, because you can try and lock in on their run lanes and you can try and clog the gaps that they're hitting, but the bottom line is their running backs are so good at just making the first person miss consistently.
To the outside, that one for Logan Keel doesn't really go anywhere. 4th and 6. So Vancouver's going to get a half stop after the crazy deflection interception and force a field goal attempt from Jordan Bradshaw. Bradshaw 25 of 26 in the regular season. Drills that one. 10-7 Denver, 7 seconds in to quarter number 2.
Yeah, and a really good job for Denver to capitalize off of a turnover.
History is not on Denver's side here. Home teams, since the start of the 2K23 era, are 13-0 in quarterfinals, including Baltimore's ridiculous comeback win earlier this evening against Minnesota. If you missed that game, you're going to want to check out the highlights or go back and watch the whole thing, because it's just that worthwhile. Anyway, Vancouver back on offense, now staring at a 3-point deficit.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to note too, like the graphic we just saw right now in the 4K23 area. I mean, the home team is 13-0 in the quarterfinals. So this is a big test for Denver, who's in the lead right now.
Vancouver trying to go back to the semifinals for the first time since season 18. Hand off to the fullback, not going to get much of anywhere, 2nd down and 10. It's been interesting, Vancouver has run the ball in this first half more than I thought they were going to, mostly with the fullbacks.
Yeah, they're mixing it in, they're sprinkling it in, and it's really successful whenever it hits. But they love this H-flex formation right here with the running back at the end of the line.
Brown unable to connect with his receiver there. More pressure up the middle for Denver, sets up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and this is a big 3rd down for Vancouver. You need to establish the passing dominance that you had whenever you first started the game, in the opening drive, essentially, or the second drive of the game. Get back to that. You see this empty look here, so it looks like Denver's sending pressure up the middle.
Chuck Diesel is the one middle linebacker. He'll move away for Parker Thomas to take that spot. Now they go back to playing man. Lots of pre-snap adjustments on both sides. Christian Brown, pressure in his face over the middle, and somehow coming down with it is Brett Killian. I think at this point we should just call him the vacuum cleaner, because everything thrown his way, he's just going to suck up.
I mean, you said it best, partner. Essentially, he does suck everything up. It's what it comes down to. He's boxing these corners out and these defenders out. They get him. They put him on routes going towards the inside of the field, right? Because he is so strong and is such a great arm reach. You know what I mean? That he can literally box these players out and get inside leverage every time.
Brown going deep. Oh, great play by Tank Bennett to deny Nick Lockett. You said something about boxing out, because I know Brett likes to play some basketball in his spare time. So
yeah, I'm just saying, I'm using that reference for Brett. There you go. It translates exactly. I mean, you're talking about just a big body player out there, really just getting it done. I mean, that's exactly what happened. But nonetheless, great pass break up there.
Second and 10 after the incompletion. Lots of space to run. Look at the big man, Mateo Bravado, bulldozing his way for a first down.
And it's so neat to see Vancouver. Look, this is a pass-first offense, right? We know this about Vancouver, but dang it if they do not know how to get the run game involved, sprinkled in there, just enough for you to respect it. And that's exactly what's happening right now with Mateo Bravado, Ike McBride.
Bravado on the regular season, 654 yards, top 20 in the league as a fullback, also 6 touchdowns as well. Brown, delayed blitz coming, tipped away on the far side by Lucas DeVore, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Lucas DeVore really just hawking that one, just keeping his eyes on Christian Brown, really cutting that route off. He knew exactly where that was going, and he just had a beeline directly to that passing lane. Really good job by the defense of Denver.
That's DeVore's first pass breakup of the playoffs. Didn't have one last week in the wild card round. Brown moving to his left. Plenty of time, back across his body, underthrown and picked off. Lucas DeVore heard me talking about him and says, how about this? A second takeaway for Denver in the first half.
Yeah, and just like the previous play, we were talking about Lucas DeVore really just sitting back there and ball hawking. That's what he's doing. It seems like Denver's assigned him with just staying back and really just reading Christian Brown's eyes. They know he's going to throw it. It's exactly what Lucas DeVore does, jumps in front of that, exactly what a safety's supposed to do, and gets it done. I mean, that is a free safety playing at his peak.
Not one of the 3 defenders for Denver selected for the All-Star. That would be Gerald Cumbus, John Martin, and Luke Schreiner. But Parker Thomas definitely a big big part of this defense. Flag on the play. Looks like you're going to get a bit of a PI here. A little bit too early on that engagement from the defender. That'll be a free first down for the Night Wings. Denver's come to play today.
Yeah, you got 21 there, Jack Russell playing down, a little bit downhill. He gets kind of tracked below. I mean, he kind of gets out of position, goes inside, and just impedes the route. He's trying to track the ball and impedes the route a little bit too much, and it's a good call.
Ellis Blanton, 5 of 8, a touchdown and an interception so far. He's going to throw again. He's got pressure in his face. Goes to the outlet pass on the far side, tapping the toes. Logan Keel picks up 6 yards.
The blocking on that was tremendous, right? Vancouver sent 2 separate defenders on blitzes in 2 different locations, and both were picked up. I mean, I don't know if you could ask for much more, from your offense.
That's Marcelo Martin, Igor Barbatov, John Benazzi, and Marquise Sango, the tight end, and the 2 tackles in the guard on that. That's a quick hitch, little post that goes absolutely nowhere. 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, I like the idea. You try and get Logan Keel in on just like a quick little curl route inside. Just covered well, and I think that, Trellis Blanton kind of rushed that throw a little bit.
3rd and 4. Haven't seen Denver run the ball on this possession yet, and we still won't. Blanton, backside blitz, goes far side, pass caught, Logan Keel, touchdown as he breaks away from his defender, and it's 16-7 Denver.
Unbelievable play there. How about Logan Keel going up and climbing the ladder? We talk about Brett Killian on the other side and Lily Nakai, but how about this throw by Trellis Blanton just over the head of Emmanuel Blackman, and really, really good throw. That ball couldn't have been placed any better. Just enough height under it, and a really good play there by the offense.
Logan Keel, the season 18 All-Star, his 4th touchdown of season 24. It's a 10-point Denver lead. Mike, we've seen this script before about 2 hours ago. Away team up early in a quarterfinal game.
You took the words out of my mouth again. Second time tonight. I think there's something going on because we share the same first name. I think there's some kind of, telepathic thing going on there. We did just see this, right? So Vancouver is very much in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers from this season. Vancouver, first in the league in points per game, 30.3. They average just under 40 points per game at home. 39 at home this season with 286 passing yards per game. If you want an offensive slugfest, Vancouver will take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, you're not kidding. They've done it so well, too.
Christian Brown looking middle, and behind the defense is John Michael Sudduth. We talk about big man Brett Killian. Michael Sudduth may be a bigger man, 6'7", 258.
I think he is, Trillo, but watch this. Just because he's big doesn't mean he can't take the top off of a defense. Working one-on-one there with Parker Thomas. You get a big tight end like John Michael Sudduth against Parker Thomas. I mean, really, don't get me wrong. Parker Thomas is not undersized by any means, but John Michael Sudduth is a different animal. Great job showing up on the pass there.
First catch for Sudduth on the game for 26 yards. Immediately Vancouver into plus territory. Inside the 45, Brown goes short, and Lily Nakai never turned around.
Yeah, I think it was actually a little bit of miscommunication. I think that Christian Brown was trying to get it out to Ike McBride, but Lily Nakai was running a route directly in front of it. It just bounced off of her shoulder. Just a little bit of miscommunication there. Got to clean that up. But obviously, we see what Vancouver can do through the air. They just got to get back to it and get back on track.
2nd and 10. Bravado stays in the block, going deep, and it's caught by Sudduth again at the 15.
Wow, what do you do to answer following up a big play from John Michael Sudduth? You put him out, you move him to the outside this time, which I believe he was on the outside. Or no, he was on the end of the line and just running just a skinny post, it looks like, downfield, and this is going to be a matchup we got to continue to watch because Denver so far on this drive does not have an answer for JMS down the seams.
You look at the safeties, right? Lucas DeVore, 5'11", Tank Bennett, 6'4", yep. Ted Haynes, 6'0". Not a great matchup with the 6'7", John Michael Sudduth.
Pressure on the outside.
To the air. It's deflected and incomplete. He went towards Killian, as he so often does in those goal-to-go situations, but Tank Bennett broke it up.
Yeah, I want to use that as an example, Trillo. Just on that play, right? The pressure coming from the outside forced Christian Brown to throw that play a little bit earlier than it needed to. He threw that ball a little bit earlier than it needed to be, and it forced that errant throw, whereas if he had an extra half a second, he could have maybe delivered a dart like we know he can.
Brown goes underneath. Bravado room to run. He bounces off Tank Bennett and picks up 8, setting up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I mean, Bravado is so good at just annihilating that first person in front of him. Really good job getting out to the outside there and just getting the ball into your playmaker in space, and see what they do here on 3rd and 2.
Our look, backside toss, stiff arm, all out at the 2. Is Ike McBride, barely couldn't turn the corner, does pick up 1st and goal though.
Oh, that was so close, forcing Ike McBride outside, and she just barely steps outside. 1st and goal situation. This is a huge, huge moment for this Denver defense.
Killian on the far side of that line. If they decide to pass, they'll go Bravado. Nothing doing there. Maybe got a half yard out of it.
Yeah, really good play by the defense, just clogging the A-gaps and really just getting in there and doing the dirty work and really making that tackle where it needed to be made. Interested to see what they do. Do they elect to pass at any point in a goal line situation, Trillo?
2nd and goal from the 1.13 yard line. Pitch, McBride muscling her way, just short.
Wow.
It's John Martin, who's been the defensive standout in the first half, gets another impressive tackle. 3rd and goal.
Look for a sneak here. We might see a sneak. It's right on the goal line. You see Denver changing things up on the defensive line.
Full dive, Pravop, touchdown! Look at the big man soar! And we're back to a 1-score game.
Holy cow. I don't know if I've ever seen a man that big jump like that. That is unbelievable for Mateo Privado. We talk about him knocking fools over out on the field, but we have never seen him jump like that. And that is unbelievable job by Vancouver's offense. Way to kind of catch things off guard there and utilize the run to, put up some good points and get back in this.
Mateo Privado is 6'2", 250, and Chuck Diesel is 6'3", 260, and Privado just jumped over him into the end zone.
Unbelievable job. Unbelievable job by Vancouver. And how about Vancouver's offense getting things back on track, right? They got a little sluggish there for a second. Denver's defense was really keeping momentum, but Vancouver came back out and answered the call again. And again, Trillo, I think that we've got a good one on our hands here.
I loved the way that Vancouver's offense has adjusted. They were rattled by the early pressure from Denver's defense, but they rallied together. They're bringing extra protection in. They're keeping the fullbacks back to pass block, and that's allowing Christian Brown the extra half second he needs to dissect the secondary.
Yeah, it has been outstanding. I mean, you see why these two teams are in the playoffs, Cirillo. Both of these organizations have been so good this season, and this is exactly why they're meeting here in the quarterfinals.
So a 17-14 Denver lead. O'Shaughnessy back to the ground. Hasn't been a great showing for the rushing game for Denver. O'Shaughnessy just 11 yards on 4 carries. Dwayne Salmon's just 13 yards on 3 carries.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what Vancouver's doing. Look at the box on every single play, Cirillo.
They're bringing more pressure again. That means the flat is open. Dylan Lewis doesn't get very far. 3rd down and 3. Neither team really getting it going on the ground. 33 rushing yards for Vancouver, 25 for Denver. And this is a Denver team that is top 5 in the league in rushing yards per game at 137. Play action on 3rd down. Blanton looking. Now fires deep. Oh, it was in the hands of Mosley, but he couldn't hang on to it. And it's a 3-and-out for Vancouver's defense.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be looking back to this moment, Trillo, because that is a big, big drop. You can't afford to have a drop like that. Jeremy Mosley knows better. He's been in this league. He knows how to get it done, and dropping the ball right there, there's really no excuse. Denver really going to have to step up on defense here to prevent Vancouver from taking the lead.
That's a great return by Lili Nakai, diving forward to the Vancouver 45-yard line. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided, rooms are going fast for the 2025 SFL convention, kicking off the 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 13th. If you want to go, you need to book your stay now. Join the SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of the Hyatt Regency. Reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. I am not Kevin Harlan. I cannot get away with screwing up ad reads. Sorry, Cam. First and 10 for the Legion at their own 45.
Dax is up in the blimp.
Here we go. Brown rolling, throwing. Killian twisting his body to make a great catch for a 1st down.
Man, I'll tell you what, Killian just really came up clutch for his quarterback there. And I mean, look at you see the hand checking at the line there. And again, you see what they're doing. It's a trend. They run him on slants. They run him on posts. They run him on anything to get him in the middle of the field where he can have inside leverage. And it works so well.
12-yard pickup at a 1st down. Brown against the pressure, knocked out of the hands of McBride as she was streaking down the field out of the backfield. Big hit by the safety.
And I got to say, I don't know if this situation is going to happen, but if they run that play again, if that play takes an extra half a second to develop, that can easily be a pick 6 going the other way from the safety position, trying to get it out to McBride like that on a streak.
2nd and 10, man coverage in the secondary. Represented by Luke Schreiner going across on Killian there. Pressure up the middle, Brown gets rid of it, and they couldn't find Killian. The pass just a little bit behind him, and Ted Haynes gets the deflection, 3rd and 10.
I got to be honest with you, Trillo. I think that might have been one of the best pass breakups I've seen all season by Ted Haynes. To be able to dive and get a hand on that is just, the athleticism is great, and Ted Haynes is really, really putting his name on the map here.
3rd and 10, Vancouver under league average in terms of 3rd down conversion percentage on the season, just 49%. Christian Brown on the move, delivers, and it's broken up inside the 30-yard line, 4th and 10.
Man, I love the athleticism from Christian Brown, the awareness to be able to flush out of the pocket to his right side and deliver a dart, but ultimately just great coverage by Denver. And this is a big stop for Denver after having to punt themselves. I mean, this is a really good sign. If you're a Nightwing fan, you don't want to get behind to Vancouver.
Fair catch called for at the 17. I love the trust, Mike, to put in these corners and safeties to cover the Vancouver wideouts in one-on-one coverage, because you're bringing 5, 6, 7 on every play.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, they're really committing, just like Vancouver's selling out to stop the run most of the time. Now we see here in a dime package, I'm interested to see if any point they run out of, in a set like this.
Vancouver aggressive with just over 2 minutes 50 to go in the first half. 2nd and 10 on an incompletion. I think Denver has recognized that Vancouver has shut down the run game, and maybe it's making some halftime adjustments. They're going to stick to the air. As I say that, they go I formation here. Teams always like to prove that I don't know anything. Well, Blanton's going to throw over the middle, caught by Lewis, 8-yard carry, 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, it was just a no frills play there by Dylan Lewis. Good job just putting him on a slant across the middle and just hitting him directly in front. I mean, you see Trellis Blanton has been so good tonight, really putting balls in the right places, but they've got to get the run game at some point.
Here's O'Shaughnessy, gets blown up, nothing doing, 4th down. Josh Farnsey makes his first impact of the game, and it's a big one. And Vancouver's forced to go 3 and out, as all the offensive slugfesting has come to an end for the most part. 3 punts in a row.
Yeah, and a great play by Josh Farnsey, who's been playing so good this season, just across the board. Really, really solid.
That time to Kai doesn't get very far. Just over 2 minutes to go. We'll have one play before the 2-minute warning here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Vancouver decides to do. I mean, look, we know you could elect to run it, right, and try and just take it into half. And really, I mean, you've got 2 minutes. I'm just saying you would probably, I don't think it makes sense to try and quickly move downfield, and I could be wrong. They could take their time, because I love whenever they sprinkle in these runs, it really opens up the passing game.
Last play before the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Vancouver trying to tie it up or take the lead before the break. Pitch to Pravado. Takes 3 white jerseys to bring him down for only a 2-yard gain. That's the 2-minute warning. You are locked into an incredible SFL quarterfinal here on the Virtual Football Network. It's Mike and Mike in the broadcast booth. Michael Torello and Mike O'Neill. We've got Ron Haynes and Ike McBride on stats, and Cameron Irvine is our Wizard of Oz in the booth, producing everything for us this evening. Vancouver on 2nd down. Pitch to McBride. Stiff arm. Get off me. 1st down and more. And it takes Luke Schreiner, the corner, to bring her down after a move of the chains.
And I think this is the difference maker here, right? You have Vancouver, who's a predominantly passing offense, coming out and running the ball effectively against this Denver defense. Because Denver's got to sell out for one thing, and I guarantee you, like we've seen, they're sending the pressure. They're selling out for the pass. That's going to open up the run, and I think that realistically that we could see Vancouver really turn it up on offense.
Under 90 seconds left. Killian to the slot on the right-hand side. Brown in an empty set. Plenty of time to heave it down the middle into traffic and incomplete, looking for Killian.
I'll tell you what, I keep saying his name, but Ted Haynes is shadowing Brett Killian right now. And we know Brett Killian's made some catches, but unbelievable job. I mean, really, Ted Haynes has gotten the better of that matchup at least 3 or 4 times, which is more than a lot of corners can say.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. As you see the run pass splits for both teams tonight. Brown delivers, and another big hit. That time the linebacker John Martin dropping back in coverage.
Yeah, anytime you can get an outside linebacker in coverage like that and they can play to the ability that they're playing here, you can't ask for much more out of your defense.
Third and 10. Brown had to get rid of it quickly, and it's knocked away by Parker Thomas. Joseph Sabolka was racing around the line and almost had a sack.
Yeah, Sabolka is so good off the defensive line. Really, really good. But let's talk about Parker Thomas. Eddie Gage calls him one of the best slot corners that the SFL has ever seen, and you see exactly why. You saw the hops there to be able to disrupt the passing lane right there. Great job by the defense of Denver, and man.
That one's going to roll into the end zone off the boots of the punter, Mitch Berger. So 5 of the first 7 drives resulted in points.
Yep.
The last 4 drives, all punts.
Wow. Yeah, I think that just a testament to these defenses and the quality of these teams, right? And the adjustments that have been made since the first quarter.
Denver now with 1:01 to go in the first half. Both teams still with 3 timeouts. Blanton, comebacker, incomplete. Both teams have left the stickum on the sidelines here in this second quarter.
I got to tell you, regardless of the result of this game, Denver's going to go back and watch this, and they're going to watch their pass protection. And, I mean, it has been stellar. The blitz pickups from the offense of Denver has been insane on both sides, really, for Vancouver as well.
And early in the game, we had a lot of blitzes and a lot of sacks. Not so much since the end of that first quarter, as both teams have really tried to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly like that. And I think that's one of the things that has contributed to the lack of offense here in this second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about it. You see the third down efficiency right here, 4 for 9 for Denver and 5 for 8 for Vancouver. So Denver hoping to get their 5th third down conversion here.
There's the total yards of the second quarter, just 68 for the Night Wings. Long hold, 3rd and 10, play action, roll out. Blanton looking, caught up to the 40. Lewis, big time grab, keeps the drive alive, clock ticking under 40 seconds.
What's crazy, what a dart by Trellis Blanton, but how about Drew Hamilton was right there in position, and the ball, you can't defend a perfect pass. That's exactly what we just saw out of Trellis Blanton, just putting it on the money, and a really, really good job there.
Blanton, excellent blitz pickup again. Pass complete in the flat to Logan Keel for 5. It looks like both of these teams are content to head to the break. Denver with a 17-14 lead as neither team is using timeouts here.
Yeah, I think that this half has been earned by both teams. It's really been a great matchup so far. As we're going to see another run.
Yep, O'Shaughnessy just going to take this one to the half. Thrills and spills on both sides. It's a chess match between one of the best offenses in the league and one of the best defenses in the league. And right now, it's a 17-14 Denver lead on the road as we head to halftime. Mike O'Neill, your thoughts on a very competitive first half?
Well, you said it, partner. It's competitive across the board. But you talked about the adjustments that we've seen after the first quarter. In the first quarter, we saw both teams bringing heavy pressure, right, and hitting home early and often. And then the second quarter hit, and then the team started picking those blitzes up really, really well on both sides. So we haven't seen the offensive production crazy enough, even though that's happened. it's like the coverage has gotten better on the back end. I'll tell you what needs to happen for better second halves. For Denver, they got to get the run game involved. Figure out how to get your workhorses the ball. You've got Bailey O'Shaughnessy and Dwayne Salmons getting paid a lot of money in the backfield. You got to get them the ball. For Vancouver, you've got to keep forcing the ball downfield through the air. You've got to scheme some players open. Get Brett Killian involved. Lily Nakai needs to be involved a little bit more. John Michael Sudduth, etc. Get the pass game a little bit more involved.
Trellis Blanton is your player of the first half. We'll take a quick halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on Brakes GPT's Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner at BrakesGPT.com. Second half underway, Denver with the ball, up 17-14. And I'm going to turn the floor over here to Mike O'Neill after this first play because I want to know what one adjustment you would make on the side of the ball for both teams. Denver's offense, Vancouver's defense. Handoff, O'Shaughnessy, 2 yards, take it away, Mike.
Yeah, I think for Denver's offense, what you're looking for, again, you saw it there, get back to the run game. It's okay. It's all right if it's not working initially. You have talent in the backfield that can break tackles. Give them a chance. Don't put the ball in Trellis Blanton's hands just yet until you absolutely have to. For Vancouver, you really just you have to scheme some more players open. I mean, some of these routes, Denver's all over on them defensively.
Speaking of all over defensively, a ton of blue jerseys around that pass, making it 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, really good coverage there. And again, this is a situation you don't want to be in. I mean, you gotta expect Denver needs to get back to the ground game, 1st and 2nd down. It doesn't matter. You've got the lead right now. You don't need to be throwing.
We're gonna throw here on 3rd and 8. Plenty of time for Blanton. And inside position was Dylan Lewis, but he couldn't hang on to the football. He was trading blows with, I believe, Drew Hamilton out there. And it's going to be a 3 and out for the Nightwings. Best case scenario here for Vancouver on their first possession of half number 2.
And this is a big moment for Vancouver, right? Because you get the ball back. You're at home. You've got the home crowd here. Get the ball back, take it downfield, put some points on the board, and take the lead here to start the 3rd quarter.
You take a look at the 2nd quarter. 5 drives, all punts plus the end of the half. So really, nothing happened.
We saw defenses lock in. It's exactly what we saw, and it's no surprise given where these two teams are at on the season as far as defensively. I mean, really, really good across the board on both sides.
There's your team stats through the first half. Just 9 total yards more for Vancouver. And really, it's Vancouver almost doubling up the Nightwings on the ground, 47-27. But the big advantage there is in 1st downs, 11-5. Brown pump fakes, takes off up the middle, slides, fumble the football. It's picked up by the Legion. A roller coaster of a play, and the day is saved by John Michael Sudduth, who was right there to pick up the ball.
I mean, listen, you come out here against a really hard-hitting Denver defense, one of the most aggressive defenses in the SFL. You can't let your quarterback run the ball. I understand he was trying to make a play, but you got to protect the football.
Ted Haynes with the knockaway, but it's still a 4-yard pickup. Handoff McBride. Can she exert her will on this game? First down through a massive car crash with Bennett.
I was just about to say that seemed like the two trains just.
First and 10 for Vancouver. 4 receivers on the left-hand side, and for the first time since the first quarter, we have a sack by Denver. Gerald Cumbus immediately in the backfield.
Heck of an impact here, but hats off to Ike McBride for just showing some grit and picking up that first down for her team.
6-yard loss, 2nd and 16 after Gerald got back in the backfield and sacked Christian Brown. Once again, 4 wide, plus the tight end on the right-hand side. Moving across is Lily Nakai to make it a trip set on the left. Brown, pressure in his face, throws, almost picked. Ted Haynes was there. 3rd down and 16. Late pressure coming by John Martin. He has been the X factor on this Denver front 7 so far. 5 wide, 3rd and 16. They bring the extra man. It's picked up. Brown with all kinds of time, and he finds the receiver. Nick Lockett down to the 25-yard line on 3rd and 16.
Yeah, Nick Lockett doing incredible things from the wide receiver position. Just comes up and really, he was working against 42. I believe it's Parker Thomas. Again, a really great corner, but Parker Thomas gets turned around, and Nick Lockett just really coming up clutch and picking up some great yards after the catch.
Vancouver in position to either tie or take the lead on this drive. Brown, 3-step drop, throws middle, overthrows his intended receiver, which was Ike McBride. That's the 2nd time they've tried to go to McBride out of the backfield on a streak like that, and it's resulted in 2 incompletions.
Yeah, and again, I just don't like the play call. I think it's really risky, and we could see a mishap from it.
Now 2nd and 10. Ted Haynes tracking Killian to the far side into the slot. Denver playing man of the secondary through most of the game. Deep shot, Lockett again to the 9, 1st and goal.
Wow, what a play by Lockett to get downfield and really set up his team. Christian Brown just delivering a dart here. Again, inside leverage. They're just catching man coverage. They know Denver's got safeties back deep, and it's really just, they're really scheming these guys open. Really good job by Vancouver.
Now Vancouver goes to a run-heavy set. They throw the pitch to McBride, trying to turn the corner, and just pushed out at the 2. That's the 2nd time McBride's almost had a touchdown on a pitch inside the 5 in the ball game. I'd like to see maybe Nick Lockett get this touchdown because he has been the man on this drive for Vancouver. But it's probably going to go for a run. Last time down here we saw the fullback. We'll see the fullback again. Chopped up by Chuck Diesel. 3rd and goal. Privado didn't go for the jump that time. And you see Chuck Diesel's numbers on the game. 3rd and goal from the 1. Pitch, Nakai muscled backwards by 2 Denver defenders. Jimmy Burgett was right there, 4th and goal. And it's going to be a chip shot field goal attempt to tie the game on a goal line stand for the Night Wings. Up and good. 17-17. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We're working on getting Mike O'Neill back in the broadcast booth. But it is 17 all, as Vancouver has rallied from a 17-7 deficit at the end of the first quarter. That last drive, 10 plays, 47 yards, and a majority of those yards grabbed by Nick Lockett. Now Denver, whose offense has struggled ever since the opening quarter, still in a tie ball game, but got to move the ball now. After their first drive of the second half was a 3-and-out, Trellis Blanton delivers a strike. Dylan Lewis, first down, 15 yards.
What a catch by Dylan Lewis. Just a really good play and a really good ball by Trellis Blanton.
Right in front of Jack Russell, the safety. It's an interesting defensive look for Vancouver, employing 3 strong safeties in Jack Russell, Drew Hamilton, and Mark Lopez, but no free safeties. First down for Denver. First one in quite a while for the Night Wings. They go with O'Shaughnessy, who coughs up the football, and Vancouver falls on it. Gerald Giudice takes the ball back for Vancouver. Chaos on the line
And that's
of
a
scrimmage.
big play for Vancouver.
The ball was punched out by Josh Farnsey, the linebacker. And Vancouver now a perfect chance to take the lead just outside the 30-yard line. It's been all Vancouver since the start of the second half. Christian Brown, well, that didn't go their way. Really late on that pass attempted over the middle. But something's got to change for the Night Wings offense. Their last scoring drive was all the way back in the first quarter with that 30-yard touchdown pass on a Vancouver blitz. Since then, 4 punts, an end of the half, and a fumble. Brown, middle, looking for Killian, incomplete, third down and 10. This would be huge for Denver to potentially get a half stop here.
Yeah, Denver's got to make something happen here.
They bring the pressure. Brown escapes out the back door and slides down and crucially hangs on to the football in the face of Parker Thomas. But it will be a half stop for Denver after the turnover. 45-yard field goal attempt upcoming for chance to win. A Vancouver Legion stalwart makes it 20-17. 13-0 run for Vancouver.
Yeah, that's such a big kick for Vancouver, for them to come back the way they are and now taking the lead. It's just, this is something that every coach wants, right? You get down early and you come back and take the lead. Now it's up to Denver. The ball's in Denver's court. They've got to get back in this. They've got to, the fumble really hurt them, Trillo.
Chance to win, still perfect in field goals on the season, now 29 of 29. Just 5 yards on that drive in 3 plays after the fumble. And now with the ball on the Denver 26. Like, what has to happen for Denver right here? They need something to change on offense, and they need it to happen fast.
Yeah, I think the fact is you got to chalk this all up to Vancouver really just dialing in the pressure and really shutting down the running lanes for Denver, what they're accustomed to running, the plays that they are accustomed to running. Denver's got to pivot, and they've got to pivot pretty fast here. They've got to get something involved, but you don't want to take O'Shaughnessy and Salmons out of the game. You have to keep them involved.
Dwayne Salmons just 3 carries for 13 yards. Bailey O'Shaughnessy 9 carries for 14 yards. They'll give the ball to O'Shaughnessy. That's one of his better runs of the night. Picks up 5 on the counter.
Yeah, it's a good play there. It's a good sign, picking up 5 on first down. That's better than they've had in quite some time, Trillo.
Remember, there's still 4 minutes left to go in the third and a 3-point game. The most important thing for Denver is not to panic. Go back to what's been working for you all season, which is your run game. No reason they shouldn't be right back in this.
Absolutely.
Blanton looking short. That pass is caught by Logan Keel for a first down. That's an excellent little wrinkle in a play we haven't seen them run yet tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's out of a heavy set where all eyes are on the backfield, right? But then you put Logan Keel on the end of the line right there, and you just run him on a quick slant and have Trellis Blanton sling it to a spot ultimately, and you get him. You're just hoping for man coverage in that. If that goes against zone, then they're in trouble.
Numbers on Trellis Blanton there, 12 of 23. Not a banner night for him, although this is not a great Denver Nightwings passing attack. Just 57% completion percentage on the year for Blanton. That time they go with the run. It goes backwards. Josh Farnsey with the tackle.
Yeah, really, really good play there by Farnsey, setting up a 2nd and 12. And again, I mentioned Farnsey's having a heck of a season right now. I don't have his stats in front of me, but unbelievable season so far for Vancouver. He's all over the field this year.
2nd down and 12 now, and behind the sticks, not where you want to be if you're primarily a rushing team. Mark Lopez in man coverage moving across on the defensive side. Blanton under heavy pressure, bailed out by Keel across the middle in tight coverage against Emmanuel Blackman, but he made the play.
Yeah, in Keel right there, essentially just being the safety valve for Trellis Blanton. Trellis Blanton's played good this season, and it's because of plays like this from his receivers really bailing him out in that situation. It's a great, just a nice little dig route from Logan Keel. And now a 3rd and inches. Come on, you've got one of the best backfields in SFL. You got to be able to pick this up.
Ari Mills, the fullback. Bailey O'Shaughnessy, the tailback. 3rd and inches. They'll move the tight end across. Handoff, O'Shaughnessy first down, picks his way through. Didn't get much, but all he needed was a couple of inches.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do is little steps like this, Chirillo, trusting your backs to get them involved just a little bit, right? Just give them that fire, right? Give them the rock, because these guys are going cold right now.
Last week in the 13-7 win against Bossier City for Denver, as there's a run that goes pretty much nowhere. Dwayne Salmon, 60 carries, 100 yards.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen hide nor tail of Dwayne Salmons in this ballgame.
No, and you see it right there, the rushing yards, 34 rushing yards for Denver against 67 for Vancouver, and they've got to get something going. This front seven for Vancouver has been unbelievable.
There's Gerald Giudice, who recovered a fumble earlier that allowed Vancouver to take a 20-7 lead. Remember, it was 17-7 at the end of the first quarter. Denver has not scored since then. 3rd and 9. Big play coming here. Blanton, time to throw, rolls left, hit as he throws, and the ball falls harmlessly to the turf.
Wow, we're going to get another look, hopefully, at this one. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, man, that's terrible, because that was a great pressure up the middle. I didn't get to see who it was. The pressure was unbelievable, and that's exactly why Vancouver has decided and committed so much to sending this pressure against Trellis Blanton. They're trying to get him shaken up.
That one goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. I mean, there's the tail of the tape. Defense yards per game, giving up 64 yards per game on the ground, just 35 tonight. Right, you talked about the differing styles, right? Best passing offense in the league against the best passing defense in the league. We also have the best rushing offense in the league against the best rushing defense in the league. And right now, Vancouver's coming out on top, but this game is still in the balance. Christian Brown will try to change that. Bounces off the hands of Lili Nakai, incomplete.
Yeah, trying to get it to Lili Nakai on a post route there. But I'll tell you what, 41 for Denver, I believe that's Tank Bennett, is one of the best at playing underneath and tracking those passes and disrupting the pass lanes. He has been elite this game.
Denver may be showing blitz here, 2nd and 10 at the Vancouver 12. And Only rush 4. Brown looking deep. It's the big man again. John Michael Sutton. He's been so huge down the middle of the field.
And this is what they need to do. We talked about a change that Vancouver needed at halftime. That change is getting 85 more involved. JMS is one of the best premier tight ends in the league. He just has been underutilized, and you see it here. I mean, we talked about the number 1 pass defense in the league. I mean, look at the stats there. 3 for 10, 71 yards. The problem is when Vancouver hits on their passes, there are explosive plays nearly every single time.
Brown, pressure, throw, 9 yards, and that's all you need to do. Lili Nakai makes the catch. It hasn't been a banner night for Christian Brown by any means. Just 13 of 34, 38% completion percentage, a touchdown and 2 picks. But as we go to the 4th quarter, Vancouver has the lead and the ball on what's been an epic night of SFL quarterfinal action here on the Virtual Football Network. 4's up, it's time for the final frame. Michael Torillo and Mike O'Neill calling all the action from you. From Vancouver, we've got Ron Haynes and Ike McBride doing stats. Cameron Irvine is producing as always. Short yardage situation as we start the 4th quarter. McBride got it. No, didn't get it.
Wow.
That's a tough one, and we may see Andy Hamilton challenge that. We see him debating on the sidelines right now. No, they're going to play for 3rd and inches.
Yeah, you don't know if you're going to need that later, especially when you trust in your offense to pick this up.
Pitch. McBride. Stiff arm down the sideline inside Denver territory. Finally driven out by John Martin.
Torillo, that's the 2nd time we have seen that toss play out of that set. And it is working to perfection for Ike McBride. Every single time she hits the outside, she guarantees, it's almost a guarantee she breaks that first tackle and takes it for another 7 to 8 yards down the sideline.
Empty set, Christian Brown, quick trigger, low throw at the feet of Ezekiel Bear. That's his first target tonight. Bear, the rookie. And what a great wide receiver room for a rookie to learn from, right? You got Brett Killian, Nick Lockett, Lili Nakai.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talent in this wide receiver room, which is exactly why Vancouver is the style of offense that they are.
They motion Nick Lockett into the backfield. Fumble on the play. Big man scramble. Picking it up, Hugo Reynosa. The Ram comes through and flips the switch again. Denver takes possession back.
Oh my goodness. And we're getting word that they think Christian Brown tried to shovel it to Lockett. And that was, wow, that's really, really tough. You motion Nick Lockett to the backfield, but he can't pass protect, Torillo. He just cannot pass protect. And that's what you asked them to do there. Denver set the heat, came up big time.
Sabolka, I believe, knocked it out. Reynosa picked up the fumble. Denver handed away back into this game, and Vancouver says, I'll take that right back.
Wow.
Marquise Reed with another sack. If you're wearing 55, you're having a good night.
You're not kidding, Torillo. And just like that, it's like we went to a time machine and transferred back to the 1st quarter after these 2 plays. I mean, this is unbelievable what's been happening. And now these teams are going to have to readjust. But right now, Denver needs an answer. They got to get out of the 2nd and 15 situation. This is exactly where Vancouver wants them. They need to capitalize off of a turnover.
On that last play, O'Shaughnessy tried to pass block, but ran into Blanton in the backfield and sandwiched him into a sack. Blanton against pressure, throws short, heel across the middle, gets a couple of those yards back. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
I don't mind that call at all, Torillo. I don't mind it at all, because I think what happens in that situation is a lot of teams try and go for all of the 15 at once, end up throwing a mistake ball. Right there, they did what they needed to just to make it a 3rd and manageable.
3rd and 9 play action. Pressure from the backside. Blanton gets it away. Incomplete. Drew Hamilton with the massive hit. Potentially the defensive play of the game. And Denver gets nothing off the turnover.
Wow. That is crazy. And now they're having to punt, Trillo. They're playing the field position game, which I'm not mad at, right? Because that is a very long field goal. You play the field position game, it's tough, right? You're only down 3. I really think that Denver's defense has been playing good enough for them to be able to respect this decision and, you know, just get back to it.
Nakai takes the fair catch at the 15. Official stats on that fumble. Logan Gardner forced it out. Hugo Reynoso with the recovery, and then 3 and out for Denver.
Wow.
Their offense has just been anemic here
Yeah.
in the second half, and all the pressure on the Nightwing defense to keep them in this game. Still just a 3-point game. Pressure coming, and once again,
Wow.
the defensive secondary left on an island has done their job.
Yeah, really good job. You see the Denver offense in the second half. You talk about anemic. Really, really tough. 46 yards of total offense in the second half, and that is very low, especially for a team that's used to averaging over 100 yards on the ground.
2nd and 10. Nightwings show corner pressure with 2 outside linebackers. They bring the pressure. Flag on the play. Intercepted! Diving pick by Tank Bennett, and he takes it back to the 10. We're going to have to check the marker.
Wow.
Holding
Defense.
on Denver.
Wow.
Oh, no!
Wow. They're going to
And it
call
wasn't
for
even-
yeah.
It wasn't even close to the play. He was trying to stay in range with Sudduth. The pass went the other way.
Wow. Yeah, that was I don't know how I feel about that call. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the camera guys showed the wrong route. I think it was actually on the other one with McBride going out because McBride got held up. I think it was on that. I don't think it was on John Michael Sudduth. Regardless, Vancouver just really caught that. I mean, you could make the argument that it wouldn't be an interception without the penalty, but nonetheless, Denver's got to get back in it.
Big break for Vancouver. Almost another turnover. A handoff. A first down for Ike McBride. It's been tough sledding for McBride tonight. 10 carries, 50 yards. I want to bring attention to Christian Brown because he hasn't had that great of a night. 36% on his passes, 13 of 36. This is a man that in the regular season led the league in completion percentage at 62.5.
Well, again, he's going against the best passing defense.
But the rushing game has picked him up when it mattered. And the receivers have picked him up when it mattered, especially this man, Nick Lockett.
Yeah, Nick Lockett has been so good, and you see him right here on this slant route across the middle, and just really working in man coverage. And you see they're running 2 routes, very similar across the board, and it gets confused and gets confusing for the defensive backs there. And Nick Lockett really just being in the right position.
Nick Lockett, 4 catches, 70 yards. Brown diving grab by Sudduth, and he slides forward for a first.
John Michael Sudduth is having one of the best games that he's had in some time right now. Just by, I mean, look at how about the communication or just the knowledge to know exactly where your quarterback's going to put that ball. I mean, there was a big jam up right there on the outside, and to see a big man dive like that and pick up a grab, I mean, that is a heck of a play.
Into Denver territory. This could be the back-breaking drive of the game. Late pressure caught Lockett again down to the 30.
Yeah, and I see what's happening. And they're running this H-flex formation here with Nick Lockett on the end of the line right there in that halfback spot. You see him right there, number 10, and he's running just a slant route. It's essentially just a 90H slant with Nick Lockett being the H there, and really just a great play there.
Lockett has 8 Lucas DeVore alive on that route all game long. Another first down inside the 30. Shotgun snap, Brown looking long. Oh, Sudduth almost had a one-hand grab, but Lucas DeVore knocked it away from him.
Yeah, Lucas DeVore really just like playing a free safety to its finest right there. Has gotten beat a couple times over the top by John Michael Sudduth and said not this time.
John Michael Sudduth, most yards in a game for him since 2024 in January. Wide open. Brett Killian hasn't had many catches tonight, but he extends for another first down. Just 5 catches on the game for Killian. That's low for his standards.
Yeah. And we go back to another mistake here, putting Brett Killian on an island. And you see Christian Brown turning it around. Last time we looked at this, he was 3 of 10. Now he's 6 of 10. And so you can see him heating up. Watch Nick Lockett here again from that slot, right off the line.
First and 10, inside the 20, incomplete. Something that Denver has done is dropped the outside linebacker John Martin into coverage more.
Yep.
That time he makes the pass breakup.
Yeah, we've seen, I mean, obviously in the first quarter we saw him rushing a lot and trying to go in as a free blitzer. We've seen some adjustments in the second half. And again, this looks like, again, the Nick Lockett play where they're going to be targeting the middle of the slant. Denver's got to figure that out.
Necessary for Denver to hold Vancouver to a field goal here. Plenty of time in the pocket for Christian Brown. And what can Brown do for you? He finds Brett Killian in the back of the end zone, as he has done so many times in the past, to give Vancouver 1 foot in the semifinals.
And this is unbelievable, Trillo. What a play here. They do run that Nick Lockett play that's been going to him all night. What do? All of Denver's defense crowds towards the side of Nick Lockett. They follow him, and what does that make for Brett Killian? It makes an easy catch in the back of the end zone.
Brown, over 300 yards passing now, has brought his completion percentage up almost 10 points on the drive. That's how good that drive was for Vancouver.
Yeah.
10-point lead, 4.5 to go.
And again, it's not over. Vancouver, there's much to celebrate right now, but you can't celebrate a victory. Denver is still in this. It's a 10-point game. There's 4.5 minutes left, but I got to be honest with you, Trillo, Denver's got to change something offensively quick.
Vancouver, 11 plays, 85 yards. Longest drive of the game for either team. There were 2 9-play drives previously, 1 for Denver, 1 for Vancouver, and a 10-play drive for Vancouver early in the second half. That one, an 11-play drive, a backbreaker for the Night Wings' hopes in this game. Still 4.5 to go, 2 possessions on the clock.
They're committing heavy to this box.
And it works out, because Trellis Blanton just got spun down by Marquise Reed, his 3rd sack of the game. Oh, correction, 4th sack of the game.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. You see Marquise Reed, he's just so fast off the outside of the line there. No tackle in the league can keep up with that.
Loss of 3 yards on first down. That little pass over the middle has been working for Denver, but they don't really go to it on first down. It's always on 2nd and long.
Yeah, it just seems like a situational play to try and get them back into 3rd and manageable. But again, we've seen this bunch formation quite often on 3rd and long for them. Let's see what they decide to do. They've got to convert this 3rd down here.
Just 1 of 4 on 3rd down to the second half, Denver. Blanton looking, throwing, caught, first down. Wow. Dylan Lewis in double coverage. Here comes the up-tempo offense for the Night Wings. Blanton into the flat. Jay Viper's first catch of the game. That's a wild stat for Marquise Reed. Blanton, pressure in his face, delivers, incomplete, big hit. Jack Russell.
Jack Russell saved a big play there because Logan Keel had both hands on it, and Logan Keel's been really good tonight.
And it's another big 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Farnsey, the lone middle linebacker, will he bring the pressure? Just a four-man rush. PA rollout. Looking deep. Down the numbers. Oh, Keel had it and he dropped it.
Wow.
That might be the most important drop of the game. 4th and 7. Do they keep the offense on the field here?
Yeah.
They do. 4th
Wow.
and potentially ball game with 3:13 to go.
Yeah, and this defense
Denver.
is getting loud.
Denver 4 of 7 on 4th downs this season. It's a rollout the other way. Blanton sacked! Vancouver's defense came to play. Michael Rury. I don't think we've called his name tonight, but he makes the biggest play of the game and gives a turnover to Vancouver.
How about the rip move off the offensive line to hurdle a defender to get back there? Unbelievable job by Rury, and Vancouver's defense really stepped up here tonight in this second half.
Now Vancouver giving it to Ike McBride, letting her go to work. What a day. We had the ridiculous comeback from Baltimore in the second half. Minnesota now and down tag out here aboard. Vancouver and both elbow off practice, but that because two deep is hard to know tonight. We're not done. 2 games tomorrow as the quarterfinals wrap up on Sunday. Mexico City hosts Albuquerque at 6:30 p.m. And then the surprise of the season, Washington hosts Fort Worth at 9 p.m.
Got some crazy games this weekend. So far, the games have lived up to the hype. This has been a great one tonight, even though Denver really, that 4th down, no conversion really could have been the nail in the coffin.
2-minute warning. It looks like Vancouver has broken the Denver will here with a 10-point lead and in scoring position once again. Thank you for your company all evening long. It's been an epic SFL quarterfinal day. Denver looked good early, took a 17-7 lead in the first quarter, but has not been able to score since then. They're going to get a stop here and run their first timeout. Looking forward to tomorrow, Mike. Mexico City, Albuquerque, and Washington, Fort Worth. What are you looking forward to?
Oh, man. I mean, the rematch of Mexico City and Albuquerque, both actually rematches of the regular season. Mexico City came away with the win over Albuquerque last time, and this time it's in Mexico City's house. With Washington, Fort Worth is one of the 2 teams that have Washington.
To win, it's 17-50. This is going to be a Lit Foot League, the virtual football network. This week, VFN is quarterfinal action in the SFL today and tomorrow. Plus, UFL is back Tuesday and Thursday before. Next Saturday, it's SFL semifinals as season 24 comes to a close. 1:51 to go. All Vancouver here in the second half. They've outgained Denver 199-56 in the second half. Blanton incomplete.
Man,
averaging just 2.1 yards per play, Denver in the second half. Vancouver bumps that average up to 5.4. Trellis Blanton has been really forced to throw because they've been behind in the game. They've been behind the chains. He's 18 of 33. Not a bad day. 54% completion, 2 touchdowns and a pick. But really this vaunted running game from Denver we didn't see tonight because Vancouver shut it down.
Yeah, Vancouver came to play, and this is not a passing offense by any means for Denver. So they're really out of their element, and kudos. That's the name of the game. Vancouver came in and they said, we're going to make you change your identity, right? And the team that can keep their identity most of the time wins the football game, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
Mark Lopez in the chat gives the most important stat. 26-0 in the second half for Vancouver on the scoreboard. We thought at one point in this game that Denver was going to swoop in and steal this. And then Vancouver just turned it on.
Well, it's been the second game this evening that the away team comes in and has the lead at halftime. That's pretty impressive. Now, they did just complete a really nice first down. Let's see what they, decide to do, because remember, this isn't over until it's over.
Blanton throws a pick. Josh Farnsey effectively ends the ball game with Denver out of timeouts.
And how fitting. Josh Farnsey really putting the nail in the coffin here. Just playing a hawking position there, and just really getting in front of that passing lane and taking the ball away. That's exactly what you want out of your defense. Vancouver is playing some really good football right now, and it looks like, at the moment, 1:33 left, but it looks like they're going to be heading to take on the winner between Fort Worth and Washington.
Josh Farnsey, one of the most decorated and long-time members of the Legion, 9 seasons, 2 all-star teams, ends this one with a flourish. 30-17 on the scoreboard, but really this second half was all Vancouver. Could have been a whole lot more.
Yeah, and it's exactly like we said, we just saw in the other game, the second half that, this Vancouver team really just turned it on.
It's the best formation in football if you've got the lead on the scoreboard. The victory formation for Christian Brown and company, and the Vancouver Legion, for the first time since season 18, are going to the semifinals and trying to break their semifinal curse. Vancouver has never been to a championship game. They've been to multiple semifinals over the years, but have never been able to break through. The two-time champion, 3-time finalist, Denver Nightwings, fall short. But what a turnaround season for Denver, right? They hadn't made the playoffs since winning the title in season 16. An 8-season playoff drought. They come in, they get an 8-win season. Really impressive for Denver, and it's all looking up for the guys from the Mountain State.
Absolutely. There's nothing. You got to hang your head high. Denver had an excellent season here. It's a heck of an accomplishment to be in the quarterfinals. And how about hats off to Vancouver, though? We got to be honest here. Vancouver came out, played lights out football in the second half. They adjusted the things that they needed to adjust. Christian Brown really turned up the passing game. They turned up the dial and really did what they needed to do, which was scheme their players open. We saw Nick Lockett, Brett Killian, John Michael Sutton, Lili Nakai. Everybody was making plays in the second half, and that's exactly what won Vancouver the football game.
I'm going to ask for your player of the game. It's going to be really hard. Who you got?
It's not hard at all. Marquise Reed. It's not hard at all. Marquise Reed was a difference maker tonight. Anytime you can have 4 sacks on a quarterback, especially whenever you talk about the lack of success through the air for Denver and not being able to convert when they needed to, Marquise Reed was there. That's my player of the game.
I'm going to give a backup player of the game to Chuck Diesel of Denver. 7 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Also, John Martin was great, 2 sacks and 4 tackles as well. I mean, both defenses played well. Vancouver, in the end, a little bit better of a scheme and just pulled it out in the second half. So Vancouver, after missing the playoffs in season 23, after a 8-season playoff streak, come back with a vengeance and will be one of the last 4 teams standing, bidding to make their first finals in franchise history.
Yeah, it's been remarkable. They've had a remarkable season, and it doesn't end here, right? Because they are moving on to take on the winner of Washington and Fort Worth next week. So make sure to tune into that game tomorrow night. I believe that one's at 9 o'clock.
And we got that game as well as Albuquerque and Mexico City. That'll do it for my time in the SFL this season, calling games for you all. It's been a pleasure to have your company. I know I haven't been around as much as I'd like to with work and other things taking up much of my time, but anytime I can jump on, I'm very appreciative of Cam and Mike and Chris Curtis and their entire broadcast team for having me back season after season. For Mike O'Neill up here in the broadcast booth with me, always a pleasure to call a game with you, my friend. Ike McBride and Ron Haynes on stats. Cameron Irvine, producer and commissioner extraordinaire. Vancouver heads to the semifinals. They win it 30-17 over Denver. My name is Michael Trillo. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow as quarterfinals conclude.